My favorite definition of success comes from a Chinese proverb. It says, true definition of success is how your grandchildren turn out. I love this! And it has a little small statement under it. It's because grandchildren and grandparents have a common enemy. Yeah! My oldest one, my 25-year-old, he's got 9 months, he's going to go to law school. But he and his wife blessed me with a little guy called Tristan Edward, who's my grandbaby. And he and I, we hang out and we come up with all kinds of ways to get him back. Except they're proper.
When professional service organizations look to grow their revenue, or their people they choose a business growth coach, they choose someone to help their people take responsibility, accountability, and action to increase performance. They choose the Rainmaker, Ed Robinson. Ed Robinson is a proven professional growth expert with over 20 years of experience in both corporate and private business sectors.
One of the hotels that I stayed at, there's a lady who worked in housekeeping. Her name is Yolanda. I think Yolanda is the epitome, if you will, of taking responsibility. This one, would you agree, I mean, as a housekeeper, would you agree she doesn't have a lot of rocket science things to do? I mean, she cleans rooms, keeps things clean, very, very admirable, but that's what she does. This one particular day she's cleaning. There's a business traveler in room 420. And in 420, Yolanda goes there, and this business traveler has stacks of paper on the floor. Yolanda comes to the conclusion that this gentleman needed additional desktop space. So she called downstairs and said, could you have a desk come up to room 420 right away? They brought up a desk, they set it in the corner. Yolanda took the papers and put them on the desk in the same order. Y'all can breathe. She puts them in the same order, cleans around, and is on her way. Was that her job? How many of you think she went over and beyond the call of duty? How many of you are still saying she should not have touched the papers? Some of you say, oh my gosh, she touched the papers. Why did she touch the papers? Because I asked crazy questions, I asked Yolanda, I said, Yolanda, what would make you do a darn fool thing like that? Ladies and gentlemen, I was stunned by her response. I said, Yolanda, why did you move the papers to the desk? She said, PMS. I said, pardon? She said, her personal mission statement. What were y'all thinking? Her personal mission statement. I said, tell me more about that personal mission statement then. She said, my personal mission statement is to enhance the quality of the guest experience. I want anyone who stays in one of my rooms to have such a fabulous experience that when they come back, they want to stay at this property again, and even maybe want to stay on one of my floors. I said, wow. Share with me something else I shared. I said, you know, there's some places you just couldn't work. She looked at me strange. Tell me if this is true. I said, there's some places you'll call downstairs and say, I need a desk in room 420. And they'll say, Yolanda, you've got an hour to clean 15 rooms. You ain't got time to do inventory. Would you agree? Some places will respond that way. Yolanda says, no, I don't buy into that. She says, because one thing that's always for certain, I'm in charge of me, and I have choices. She says, because I can go get the desk myself, or I can leave a note for the gentleman and say, go get it. Tell them how they can get a desk. Now, I kind of wanted to see her go get the desk herself, because she was about 59, and I wanted to see her carry the desk. Anyway, fact of the matter is, we all have personal responsibility at any given point in time. I have a definition of what I consider personal responsibility. I feel personal responsibility basically says that you are the principal source of the results that happen in your life. You are the principal source of the results that happen in your career, in your job, and the choices that you make in life. To what degree do we take that personal responsibility? Now, the flip side of that same coin of responsibility is personal accountability. Personal accountability, on the flip side of that same coin, says you can't have responsibility without accountability. And if you're the principal source of the results that happen in your life, you have to also be willing to take ownership of the things that happen in your life. Step up to the plate and say, yeah, I did that. That's pretty powerful, is it not? See, because the flip side of it means you go on to the other side of the stage. If we don't take responsibility and accountability, we go on to the other side of the stage, or the other side of the equation or life, and become a victim to life circumstances or unempowered or unmotivated in the things that happen in our lives.
Ed does 3 keynotes based on his 3 books: Rainmaking Strategies for Business Growth, 4 Giant Steps to Leadership, and From Fighting the Storm to Dancing in the Rain. Ed shares anecdotes, formulas, and stories for success in handling the challenges in our work and personal lives.
Many organizations are guilty of is what I call blind bowling. Now, I need to take an inventory. How many of you are now familiar with blind bowling? All right, about 50. How many of you are familiar with bowling? Because the rest of you guys are looking at, what is he talking about? Blind bowling. Blind bowling is when you go into a bowling alley, they give you a blindfold, they give you a ball, they tell you to knock over the pins. Would you agree this could affect your score? As I shared yesterday, how many of you are like me where it may improve your score? Okay. Truly the case. Fact of the matter is what we do in a lot of our organizations as we deal with our customers, as we deal with our bosses, we deal with blind bowling. Blind bowling is basically not knowing where the pins are. What I say is, in all aspects of your life, you need to know where the top 5 objectives are. Would you agree a lot of people are going through work not knowing what the top 5 critical factors are to get their jobs accomplished? And if you're doing that, and if you don't know the top 5 objectives, you're blind bowling. And it's our responsibility, remember? We have to take that responsibility to work with our customers and or our boss to find out what are the 5 key things that you want me to do. As an individual, would you agree it's critical that you know what your boss's top 5 objectives are for the next 6 months or the next year? Would you agree if you don't know that, that means you're working in a vacuum and possibly spinning your wheels? And definitely we're away from being our customer focused.
Ed Robinson, a professed recovering CPA, the CEO of Robinson Performance Group, a company that provides growth strategies and leadership consulting to professional service firms, serving over 200 clients such as KPMG, AICPA, Deloitte, Merrill Lynch, Zurich Financial Services, International Group of Accounting Firms, Wells Fargo, USAA, State Farm, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and Farmers Insurance, to name a few. Having spoken in over 20 countries and over 2,000 presentations spanning some 16 years, Ed uses universal wisdom to deliver high-impact and interactive keynotes and workshops that becomes the catalyst to allow change and transformation to affect the various organizations he consults.
I was raised by my mother and my grandmother. I had a very unique mother and grandmother. How many of you are familiar with the movie The Godfather? Are you familiar with that movie? Okay, great. How many of you, I love The Godfather. In the Italian family, The Godfather is the center of the family. Anything that you wanted to do has to be blessed by The Godfather, correct? And I think I love that movie so much because it reminds me of my own personal family. In my own personal family, my grandmother is the godmother. Anything you want to do in life, anything you think about for long periods of time, has to be blessed by Big Mom. And her name is Big Mom. Big Mom stands about 5 foot tall. We call her Big Mom. I'm 6'5", I'm 240 pounds. She calls me Little Ed. I say, yes ma'am, I know who's in charge. She shared with me since I was a little kid. She says, Ed, the #1 company that you'll ever work for is yourself. The more that you focus on you, the more that you focus on the key things and the key elements that you want out of life, and work on you, is the more that you can be successful in life.
For programs on change, leadership, and sales, contact the growth expert, Ed Robinson.